Hey there guys, welcome back to AFC Game by Game. This is my preview for the match on Saturday, the 3 PM kickoff between Newcastle and Arsenal. A game that honestly can't come around quick enough following the international break. A time of the year that seems to always suck the life out of me. It feels like only the other week we had the World Cup. We've already got an international break. That just seems ludicrous in my opinion. But we're back to Premier League football this weekend, so I've got a reason to smile, something to look forward to at long last, and a game that isn't going to be quite as straightforward as I think so many people are making out that it will be. Newcastle away is a game that you would fully expect Arsenal to win, but given how leaky we've been at the back, the number of goals we're conceding, letting Cardiff have their first two Premier League goals of the season, and Newcastle, despite losing 3 games against 3 teams that I hate to admit are better than us, Man City, Tottenham and Chelsea, they've put up a really good fight in each and every single one of those games. They've only picked up 1 point this season against Cardiff City. So it's going to be, it's not going to be that much of an easy game. They have looked really good this season despite only picking up 1 point. They looked really good in the game against Chelsea, a game where they'll certainly feel they should have picked up at least a point. And with the players that they've got up front, Rondon, the new addition, Hosselu and Richie, they have got players that can cause our rather susceptible defence quite a lot of problems. Now, Newcastle are a team that always seem to... They're a Premier League team, despite having that season in the Championship not too long ago. They are a side that should be established in the Premier League. But again, this season, I think it's going to be a case of them literally just playing to stay in the Premier League, which should be the very minimum expectation for Newcastle fans. They're a team that are so much bigger than that, to be honest. They should be comfortably mid-table, but given the lack of investment at the top from Mike Ashley, I mean, we go on about Stan Kroenke, but Mike Ashley seems to be 10 times worse than Kroenke, a guy that completely disregards Newcastle as a football club, literally uses them as a profitable asset, which is a real shame. And arguably Kroenke does the same, but not to maybe as a bad extent. So I think that's going to be a real problem for them this season, having not invested enough in the squad. Rafa Benitez has made it quite clear that he needs more players, more Premier League level players, and I don't think they've got that at the minute, so I do think they are going to struggle, which is a real shame because Benitez is a quality manager, and I do think with better players, just players that are just slightly a level above the players he's got now, Newcastle would be a very comfortable Premier League side. But as it stands, I do think they are going to be competing just to stay in the Premier League, and it will prove to be a tough season for them. But if the way they're going to play is going to be anything like these couple of games that they've started this season with, in the games against Tottenham, City, Chelsea, and even Cardiff, if they are going to play in that confident, assured, compact style and not leak too many goals, and I think it could be a positive season for Newcastle. But that's not to say that we shouldn't be going there and getting a win this Saturday. As I say, I'm not feeling overly confident going into this game, given the way we're leaking goals and given the way Newcastle are scoring goals through players like Hosselu, who's made a really good start to this season. They are going to cause us problems. And they've got a decent-ish defence as well. I mean, they're not conceding too many. They didn't get humiliated against Man City. They didn't get humiliated against Tottenham or Chelsea. So it's not going to be straightforward scoring against them. You'd hope with Aubameyang and Lacazette hopefully starting again, will score a couple of goals in this game. But they've got an assured defender in Lascelles, a player that's really started to make a claim for himself in the top flight. But I do hope with the players we've got going forward, we should be capable of scoring at least 2 or 3 goals in this game. Because I hate to say it, but it is sort of inevitable that we are going to concede in this game. It's not something that I like saying, but I just don't see us keeping a clean sheet just yet. So we've got to make sure that we score more goals at the other end of the pitch. One way we can ensure that we do at least have a little bit more defensive protection is to bring in Lucas Torreira, who simply has to start this game. There's no doubt in my mind that Lucas Torreira has to be starting this match away from home. We look so much more better when he is on the pitch. We look at like a different, I don't want to say a different team, but we do look a lot more assured defensively, and I don't think he's going to be the answer to our defensive problems, but I do think it could literally just be a flick of the switch, and we might see that defence look a little bit more reassured, because we're going to have that sweeper, someone to come in, act as a third centre-half at times, and the way he's a terrier-like central defensive midfielder. I mean, we've missed that so much, and he literally is, if you look at him, a carbon copy, well, not a carbon copy, but more of a mixture of Coquelin and Cazorla when they had that fantastic end to the 2014-15 season. If he could be that sort of player for us, then we've got a very, very, very good asset on our hands. And again, we've put a lot of money into this guy. The same goes for Leno, another player that we haven't seen any of yet in the Premier League, and I don't think we will see him in this game. But if we are going to insist on playing this out from the back style, then Torreira and Leno, I think they're crucial to that, in my opinion. We've spent on a combined total of about 50 odd million on those two. So if we don't see them play soon, then eyebrows really have to be raised as to why we sort of brought them in. Guendouzi's had a fantastic start to this season, but this is the game for me where he has to take a back step. We've got games coming up in the Europa League and the Carabao Cup. He's got an opportunity there to play more football. But for me, it's time for the more senior players to come in. Torreira, I know he's only 22 as well, but he's still that player with more experience at the highest level, whereas Guendouzi, is still sort of earning his trade. He is only 19, let's not forget that. I don't want to put too much pressure on his shoulders just yet. So Torreira comes in for me. That's a no-brainer. And up front, if we don't see Lacazette and Aubameyang start, then that's going to be really questionable. I'd really like to see those two continue that partnership that they had in the game against Cardiff. They looked really good together, just playing off of each other. And I would like to see Mkhitaryan remain on the bench. I'd really like to see us go back to a 4... Well, I say go back. I'd like to see us implement a 4-1-2-1-2 formation. So you've got the back four that we've already seen throughout the course of this season: Bellerin, Mustafi, Socrates and Monreal, and then have Torreira or Xhaka sit in that sort of midfield defensive role, and then just ahead of them either Torreira, Xhaka, or Torreira and Ramsey, Xhaka, Ramsey, either of them two in the pivot, and then just ahead of them Mesut Ozil with Aubameyang and Lacazette playing. I think that would work perfectly for us. If we're already relying so much on our fullbacks for the width, then just play that formation. It just makes sense. Then you get to play Aubameyang and Lacazette in a central position. You get to see that proper partnership up front, something that many teams aren't doing in the Premier League at the minute, and would work to our favour in my opinion. So I'd love to see that implemented. I don't think it will happen. I do think it will be a case of Aubameyang playing from the left-hand side. But if he plays like he did against Cardiff, then I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. So just going through that again, my team in full for this game would be Leno in goal, Bellerin, Mustafi, Socrates, Monreal, Torreira, Xhaka, Ramsey, Ozil, Aubameyang and Lacazette in a 4-1-2-1-2 formation. Now, it's absolutely vital that we win this game. It will be 3 wins on the bounce, and that will be absolutely massive for the confidence of not just Unai Emery, but the players as well. Yes, we're conceding goals, but 3 wins and 9 points would be absolutely sensational for us, given how much of a mess this club's in at the minute. So I really hope that we see progression and another win on the board. And then we've got more winnable games coming up. We've got the Europa League, we've got Everton, we've got Brentford. We've got all these opportunities to pick up wins and install faith in this team, which I think desperately needs a bit of confidence. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to what will hopefully be another 3 points, but can't take this game for granted. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as a lot of Arsenal fans are making out. But we can only go into this game with the utmost confidence and hope that Arsenal get the job done on the day. And let's see 3 wins on the spin. Anyway, guys, please do drop a like on this video. Get your score predictions in the comments box below. Subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll be speaking to you very, very soon. See you later, guys.